People who do get paid enough for this crap. What's your job? Trashman here. I literally deal with people's crap. I get paid enough. 10 years in, and 80k plus a year. More this year because COVID-19 overtime. Long. My dad is a clam farmer. He basically spends his days diving or fishing, and maybe every 2 weeks has to actually work, but only for a couple of hours. He lives on a tropical island, tax and duty free, and drinks a lot of rum. He could earn a lot more than he does, which is still a tasty amount, but then he'd have to do more, so he's happy as he is. 8 years ago my ex-wife walked out on me because we lived paycheck to paycheck after being medically discharged from the military, was suffering from severe PTSD, was diagnosed with liver cancer that same week. I was highly considering suicide. Once my ex-wife left I got treated for cancer and went into remission. Meanwhile I was doing truck driving training and going to therapy. I began truck driving cross country in the US. It was so liberating and never deal with bosses or people really. I get a message like a text where to pick up and where to deliver with the pay rate and appointment times. As long as I'm on time I don't hear from anybody at work. That's the best part. My current wife was tired of me being gone so much, and she was tired of her dead office job. She asked if I would want her as my co-driver. I was skeptical if she would want to be on the road with me 24/7. She put herself through truck driving school and we began driving together. I've never felt so happy and complete in life. We've been driving together for 3 years now. We bought our own truck and live very comfortable. We take 120k a year each. I'm only 32 and plan on retiring at 40. Used to hand out free samples for $10/HR when minimum was $7.50. I got to cook and joke around with people all day long. Hardly anyone gets mad at the person giving them free food, even if they don't like it. I loved that job. No college. Shaky resume because I was picky and fickle in my 20s. I was starving in an apartment I could barely afford and asked the warehouse manager who was paying me $14 an hour after 2 years for a $1 raise, so I had $30 for groceries every week. He said no. I hopped on Craigslist from my desk at work. After a rigorous series of 3 interviews, I was hired by a family-owned and run drug testing facility. I watch people pee who have been arrested or have CPS up their ass under a contract with the courthouse. Every 8-hour shift, I watch about 10 people pee and send emails from an air-conditioned office space. It started at $16 and I got a $1 raise every 5 months. 2 years in, I make $20 to do an absolute cushy job. I do not starve. I moved to the city. I bought my first vehicle with no cosigners. My whole life has turned around. A few months back, they put me in charge of the satellite office. I work with one female and the 2 of us do everything by ourselves. When the owner's parents retire fully, they already work for home and currently act as my trainer/boss on behalf of their daughter. I will end up making $25 to be the manager of this office. After 15 years of working crap jobs in food and warehouses, I actually know how lucky I got, and I don't wake up miserable about going to work. I definitely get paid enough for the 1 or 2 cheaters a month who get rude with me. I'm not in customer service. The clients/money and payments are legally required to attend their appointments with me, so there's no real risk of not making enough to keep running. My job is the best thing that's happened to me. I feel a true sense of freedom in my personal life. I save between $300 to $500 every month. I eat anywhere I want anytime I want. I'm a single man with no obligations to anyone but me. It's great. I own a septic tank maintenance and pumping company, and yes, I do get paid enough for your crap. Poker dealer. I don't really do much, basically just play middleman, so people can play their game without concern. If there's any real issue I'm supposed to just call a supervisor and let them handle it. I put up with plenty of bullcrap, but it's not that bad. Residential appraiser. Pick my own hours and get $400 per report. Work isn't hard. Takes me about 5 hours. Everyone leaves me alone by design. to not influence my value. Pretty sweet. Edit the AMCs are little demons that need frequent updates. Many have reached out reminding me how in fact they basically own me and do not leave me alone. Edit I've been told to say that there are downsides and it isn't super easy to get the certified license, so know that too. Software engineer. Sometimes you have to deal with crap breaking at inconvenient times for random reasons, but it's a pretty great deal all considered. In a different vein than most of the comments, I'm a nanny for a very well-off couple who are convinced their 2 boys are terribly behaved despite me constantly saying they're great kids. There is literal crap to deal with, and they for sure have their issues. Not enough time to play or hang out with their parents doesn't help. But I get paid an outrageous wage to basically be a third parent to 2 cute kids. Recently went down to only 20 hours a week during school and make plenty to pay all my bills/rent and save a little. People who choose to do this their whole lives aren't doing so for lack of something better or whatever you might think. Sometimes this is a very competitive career choice. My husband is an overpass security guard at a ranch in a small town. He gets paid $17.50 an hour. He sits in the car and makes sure no one comes on the property overnight. Only one time he's had an incident, and it was a drunk driver that drove through the front fence, the pasture, then through the back fence, and then got stuck. He called the police and they handled it. He's worked there for several years. It's an easy job, which is nice, because he has some health issues. Proofreader. I basically just make our company's stuff look like it was written by someone who paid attention in English class. I used to do the same thing, but I didn't get paid enough to do it. Ridiculous deadlines. Everything was always getting blown way out of proportion. Lower pay, constant overtime due to intentional understaffing. I do way less work and get paid more now, and everyone is much chiller about the process. Production operator. I have really good pay for working an alright shift, and I'm damn happy with my job as I have zero education after high school and have worked a lot of crap jobs. I work for the government and I'm way overpaid for what I do. Honestly, there were people at my last job that made like 120k to scan documents all day. Another guy I worked with wrote dates on file folders and made the same. Firefighter. We are paid for what we potentially have to do, not for what we do when we show up to work. On top of that, I can retire with a pension at 50 years old, and we work a schedule where every day you come to work it's your Friday. Had a babysitting job during university. I showed about 2 hours before bedtime, and we had a snack and I checked if they needed any help with homework, and then we watched some TV. They went to bed at 8:30 and the parent came home around 6 in the morning. This was 2 nights a week and the pay was good. I spent the time either studying or just watching movies all night. I get paid an excessive amount to deliver excessively priced appliances to the extremely excessively well-funded occupants of Lake Tahoe. Like 90% of the job is just going on an amazing drive. Help desk for 20 years. I remember all the jobs before that where I said, I don't get paid enough to deal with this crap. Farmer, CRM, fast food, video store clerk, 7-to-11 clerk, call center. Although I kind of like the graves at 7-to-11. D. Parks and Rec manager. I watch sports for a living. Receptionist. I get paid $20 an hour to scroll through Reddit. Once a day or so, I need to have someone fill out a form. It makes for long days, but I'm doing classes to finish my undergrad on paid time, so it's all good. Contracting officer. Buying stuff for the DOD. 100% telework, even without COVID. 6 figures, pension, benefits, job security. Job itself sucks, but I've had worse. Throw away for job safety. I'm a senior financial analyst in a manufacturing plant. My plant is very busy, making products that have seen tremendous demand increase since virus hit. When virus hit, they sent all of finance to work from home to minimize exposure, and we are still telecommuting. My workload has fallen off the table as I've made improvements to shortcuts and macros to do my work. My 40-hour job now takes me 20. The rest of the time I just wiggle my mouse browsing Reddit, YouTube, etc. I pick up groceries, run errands and appointments, and other leisurely activities during my workday, and I'm convinced nobody has a clue. I'm salaried and I'm pulling in north of 100k USD. The kicker is everyone loves me and talks about all the great reports I run and processes I own. So when someone asks me to do something, I happily do it. I've got plenty of free time and definitely do get paid for that. Great thread. Interesting mix of blue collar and white collar gigs. I could read this all day. Not me, but my close friend is a VIP experience tester for a large hotel chain. He shows up and they roll out the red carpet. He stays in the nicest suite and makes constant requests for champagne, food, car services, dry cleaning, etc. and takes note of the speed and level of service. I asked him if it was a difficult job and he sincerely told me sometimes it's hard to spend the dollar amount I'm supposed to spend in 2 days. I throw out a lot of food and alcohol. Of course it's all camped, so he isn't actually spending any money, but he is expected to give the hotel 5k of action during his short stay. On top of this he gets a fair salary, but any payment for that kind of work is worth it in my opinion. Engineer. I do mechanical designs of heat exchanger products. Chill in my own office and listen to music or podcasts all day while I'm doing layout drawings, making bill of materials, or running design software/calculations. I get about 90k a year plus, usually, a nice profit bonus which goes a long way where I live. Okay. Someone else commented asking us to list how long we have been at these jobs. This was my first job out of college and I have been here 5 years now. Thank you for watching the video. Tell us your stories in the comments below. Happy Spooktober.